How would Earth have been if it didn't turn? If the Earth didn't rotate, then that would mean that half of our planet would be facing the sun, while half would be deprived of sunlight. The side which is facing towards the sun would quickly become hotter and hotter than that of the boiling point of water, and the side which is facing away from the sun would be significantly cold enough to eventually condense our atmosphere itself. So we would see a condensation of nitrogen and oxygen, which are the major chunk of our atmosphere. This would mean that all the water and air present in that half of the Earth would turn into glaciers of ice, whereas the sun-facing portion of the planet would eventually become a less deserted place. Scattering of light won't happen there, as there won't be any air molecules to scatter light. Due to this, the sky would always be black and stars would be visible. Since we are assuming here that the Earth does not rotate at all, this would mean that days would be 1 year-long days. So the planet is in a phase lock with the sun, similar to the moon, which is in a phase lock with the Earth. One side would always face towards the sun, and the other would always face away from the sun. In this scenario, the centrifugal force would certainly cause a devastating change in climate and disastrous geological changes such as devastating earthquakes to transform and attain equipotential gravitational state. We can judge how cold and hot things can get by considering the moon. Even the moon is at the same distance from the sun as the Earth is, so it's easier to compare the scenario with the moon. Once the sun rises in the moon's surface, the temperature of the moon soars up to a mighty 110 degrees Celsius or 230 degrees Fahrenheit in the 709-hour daytime of the moon, whereas the other side of the moon gets as cold as negative 240 degrees Celsius or negative 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That is very close to absolute zero. Now, that's enough to freeze oxygen and nitrogen molecules present in the atmosphere. For Earth, the day side of this section would get very hot and roasted. The oceans would evaporate from their basins and then would drift to the dark side, where they would condense into gigantic glaciers. There would be a small portion of the planet where life can survive, and that would be exactly in the midpoint of the night and day portion of the Earth. That would be a twilight ring between the day and night sides, but if the atmosphere were to be in such a state, it would be impossible for humans to breathe normally. We would need to have oxygen cylinders attached to us all the time. So feel lucky to breathe air freely, as the current setup of our planet is way too good. If you've liked Inkstall's edutainment, then go to inkstall.in and sign up for free. Producing our videos takes a lot of time. If you'd like to support Inkstall, you can do so on patreon.com/Inkstall. Please refer the link below to buy Inkstall's book on space, time, and beyond.